Everybody, do you all know what time it is? It is officially the start of Biosummit 4.0. Can you guys believe that it is finally here? Can you guys give me some snaps, some claps? Yes, it is so amazing to have everybody here. My name is David Sun Kong. I'm the director of the Community Biotechnology Initiative at the Media Lab at MIT. I'm also the founder of the Biosummit. And it is so amazing and wonderful to see you all here today in our virtual Biosummit. So shout outs to everybody that's in the Zoom room right now and those that may be joining from live stream or seeing this later on whenever you see this. It is such an honor to have you all, and we are so thrilled to be together here in this virtual moment. So I'm going to share my screen now so we can walk through a little bit of an introduction. Can you all see my screen? And I'm actually going to press the play button so this goes to full screen. So everyone, again, this has been such a crazy journey to get to this moment of Biosummit 4.0. And I really wanted to start first by pointing out that we are in a virtual setting. Okay, so this is actually something that's going to be true for every single one of our sessions at Biosummit. We're going to kick off every session with something that we call tech expectations. Okay, so this is to familiarize everybody, if you are not already, with Zoom. And so you'll notice one of the key things we want to do is for everybody to make sure that their name is set towards the convention that we've shown here. So you'll notice that if you look at my name, it says my name, my preferred pronouns, my affiliation, and then also where in the world I'm from. So if you've not already done so, if you can rename yourselves according to that convention, that would be wonderful. And then again, one of the huge parts about Biosummit is engagement and participation. So please turn your videos on if you are able to. We also understand, of course, that if you do not have strong internet and are in a situation where you cannot turn your video on, that's totally fine. But we really encourage you to turn it on if you can. It'd be really wonderful to have you. And also a note here as well that all of Biosummit is being recorded. So that's another reason. If you don't want to be recorded, you can also turn your video off at any moment. You all are already doing this. You're such a chatty bunch. So you are already chatting, which is exactly what we would like to see and love. So please continue to engage with us there. And now we're going to do something, okay? So we are in Zoom. You'll notice that all of you should have a reactions button that is shown kind of right over here, which I've highlighted. Now, if you are able to, can you guys give me your reaction right now? So give me a smiley face or any one of the icons if you can. That will actually help show a little bit of expression. Yes, I see Clayton from MIT Video Productions. Shout outs to Clayton, by the way. I see some hand raises. That's good. I've got Mohammed with the hand raise. So you guys can all start practicing a little bit of this interaction because we are going to be using these. So I see Yoshi with a hand raise. I got to see some thumbs ups. Great. So, and we're going to do a little bit of Zoom engagement right now, just so you guys get a feel for this. And this is how we start every Biosummit, actually. We ask a little bit about who has been to Biosummit before. So Clayton, who is our intrepid helper from MIT. Clayton, can you put the poll up right now? So everybody, if you can engage with this poll, and we'd love to know from you all, who has been to the very first Biosummit? If you've been to the first Biosummit, number one, you can raise your hands right now. Give me a hand raise if you've been to the very first Biosummit, or a thumbs up, any type of reaction. And how many of you have been to Biosummit 2.0 in 2018? Give us a little hand raise, give us some love. Oh, I see the poll activating in real time. This is so exciting. And then Biosummit 3.0. And then, of course, the Biosummit 4.0, of course, all of you are at Biosummit 4.0. So this is a bit of a trick question. Answer that fourth one, the Biosummit 4.0 one, if this is your first Biosummit. This is actually what we're curious about, if this is your first Biosummit. I realize, Clayton, we should probably have rephrased that one because I think that would be 100% otherwise because all of you are here. That would actually be weird if you did not answer that if you were somehow here and not at Biosummit 4.0. But very curious for folks to see who is your first Biosummit. I'm not sure that percentage is going to be correct, but anyways, welcome to you all. It's so amazing to have you. And before I get into any other content, I really want to lift up our crazy, insanely amazing organizing team, okay? So again, if you guys can all turn your videos on and give some love, some claps, some snaps for our crazy, amazing organizing team. I cannot tell you all, I cannot express in words enough, and we're gonna be thanking them throughout the day and over the next 3 days, but this team is truly one of the best teams on planet Earth. You all are incredible, some of the best folks to ever work with. And I actually want to use the spotlight function to highlight in particular two organizers. Can we spotlight Maria Chavez and Justice Walker, please, who are part of our, what we call our we affectionately call our Meta Leads team. So Maria and Justice in particular have just done such an incredible job. I just love you guys to pieces. You guys are truly amazing. Thank you both so much for all of your incredible hard work. So everybody give some love in addition to Maria and Justice for just being incredible Meta Leads, we call it. We've been meeting weekly for I don't even know how long. I don't even know what to do when there's no Meta Leads meeting next week. We'll probably have one anyways, actually, now that I think about it. But anyways, you guys are all so incredible. Our entire global organizing team, spectacular. And then all of the amazing team at MIT. You guys are all just so great. I love you all so much. So thank you all again for all of your hard work. And on to the Biosummit. Okay, what are we all here for? Why are we all here? And oh, one other thing, be flexible, be patient. We have built basically kind of not out of nothing, but basically out of nothing, a giant virtual conference, right? All of us got hit with this pandemic. We didn't know what we were going to do with Biosummit. And we basically built a totally new experience. Our website is crazy. We're trying so many different things. We have so much content for you all. And I'm just going to warn you right now, not that none of it's going to work, but there are going to be issues. All right. So we're building this giant plane as we were flying it. So everybody, please be patient. Please be flexible with us. It's a big endeavor and there are a lot of moving parts, so please be patient with as we go. Okay, on to the main question. One of the real driving, motivating questions behind all of Biosummit is shown here. Who gets to participate in science, right? This is a question that I know for me drives my personal research, and what I care a lot about is this question of access, equity. Who ultimately is going to be the participants, the ones with agency to help shape the future of science and technology? And so in the life sciences, something happened around 10 plus years ago, where the first emergence of what's called do-it-yourself biology or DIY biolabs started emerging around 2009, 2010. And folks started building labs in pretty unusual places. And part of this, I think, was really exciting in the sense that, thinking about life sciences outside of traditional spaces, outside of academia, outside of corporations, outside of government, and really starting to engage the population in a more broad and democratic way. And so some of the first community labs, shout outs to GenSpace over in the East Coast, BioCurious out in the West Coast, our Hacteria fam out in Europe. A lot of this really started to emerge around 2009 and 2010. And I know for myself, my first kind of experience with this community was in 2012. I was a participant in a pretty famous, or now infamous maybe, event that was organized by the FBI in the United States that brought together a lot of the early folks that were setting up community labs many years ago. Yes, Maria was there. Raise your hands too if you're at this meeting. This is a pretty big meeting back in the day. And so I know, speaking for myself personally, I actually had been running a community center at the time called EMW Community Space, run out of a Chinese language bookstore that my parents had set up in the early or in the late 90s, 1990s. And so we had this amazing community center. And of course, after going to this DIY bio event, I was like, we need to build out a community lab in our space. And so we did that. So these are some photographs, I think, from 2014. So this is us doing some DNA assembly work with Amino. So Julie Legault, Justin Pahara are here, along with some old colleagues and friends. This is now actually, I think, a pretty legendary photo with some pretty amazing folks from the movement. Mary Magic, you'll see here, Annie Liu, Verge, and so on. So this was from EMW back more than 5 or 6 years ago in our lab. And so so that was all kind of building and percolating over the past 10 years. And then for myself, I joined the Media Lab at MIT around 3 years ago. And, I think this is an important thing. This is an event that is hosted and connected to my research group at the Media Lab. And, for me, I think one of the big questions is, how do we leverage institutions like MIT to ultimately, in a way, have them serve communities? And so my research group endeavors really to try to do that the best that we can. And we do this through developing tools, organizing communities like the Biosummit and the global community bio movement in a way, and then also through study of collective intelligence and other types of research. So that's my research group here at MIT. This is a photo of a part of our group from last summer. So this is in the before times when we could actually take group photos like this. Hopefully we will again sooner than later. But just shout outs to all of the amazing team that I get to work with every day. And so on to the Biosummit itself, okay? So the Biosummit, we started the very first event in 2017, Biosummit 1.0. And this event, when we first organized it, we didn't even know who was going to show up. Actually, it was really funny. Mary Magic and I'll never forget, we were in this conference room at MIT, like kind of trying to launch the first applications. And our very first applicant was none other than Harry Akwigo, okay, who's now one of our core organizers, a community bio fellow. And he was our first person. We were kind of like waiting, like, who's going to apply? And like, here's Harry. And so, the very first Biosummit, for those of you that were there, again, was such an uplifting, beautiful experience. It was really, I like to describe it sort of like the family reunion with the family you didn't know that you had. So many people from all around the world that share your value system and care about the same things that you do, all of a sudden brought together into one room for the very first time. And so the very first Biosummit, we had, again, representation from so many labs around the world. These are screenshots of a thing that we're going to do a little bit later called Hello World. Okay, so this is a Biosummit tradition. We're doing a virtual version of it this year. But again, this is labs introducing themselves to the entire conference, and we'll be doing this in a virtual setting in a moment later on. And we had around 200 participants from all around the world in the first Biosummit. And critically, this is one of our colleagues who'll be speaking later today, Marshall Gans, who really helped us frame and start thinking about Biosummit as a movement. And I think this is one of the really unique things about Biosummit is the integration of life sciences, synthetic biology, biotechnology, but specifically with movement building, organizing tactics. This is part of my personal background. I'm a social justice activist and a community organizer. When I was in grad school, this was kind of me doing both those things at the same time. And Biosummit, I think in many ways, is the collision of these two things. And LaDonna, who I think is already in here with us in the room, who'll be speaking a little bit later, I think she's going to talk about this idea of us being science activists, right? Us trying to actually do sciences and life sciences and biotech and synthetic biology, but really to try to change the world, really to try to build communities and organize communities in a very intentional way. And so in 2018, for the second Biosummit, we expanded our family. We added about another, kind of 100 people or so. And we see Pat here with the dinosaur, which is a key feature of Biosummit. And again, we had a really amazing group, more than 30 countries represented at Biosummit 2.0. And at this Biosummit, I think we really started to use a phrase called community bio. So actually, I remember when Mary Magic and I, in 2017, were trying to figure out what the name of the first event should be. We were trying to figure out the words. Well, it's a global event, so we should definitely call it global. It's community focused, so it should definitely be community. There's bio in there, so it should be bio, about bio. And then it's a summit, so Global Community Bio Summit. But embedded in there is the phrase community bio, which I personally think may in fact be a real evolution from do-it-yourself bio. And part of why I personally like the term is because it's not about necessarily DIY. It is about networks. It is about community. It is about movement. And so I think this word hopefully will be something that we can ponder and continue to think about. But I think this larger idea of a community bio movement, I think is really exciting and is very much connected to what Biosummit has been about over the past bunch of years. And so we've been asking ourselves each year this question: how do we ultimately structure and organize this global community? My dear colleague, Thomas Malone from MIT Sloan School, Tom and I will be giving a session later on today about superminds. We started thinking about collective intelligence and the idea that this network actually is more than the sum of individuals, but actually has a larger collective intelligence, a larger kind of system to it. And so one of the big questions is, how can we ultimately enhance that collective intelligence and really bring this community together in effective ways? Because this community is like a bunch of pirate ships, right? There is no CEO. It's not a classic hierarchy. It's not like anybody can say, hey, BioCurious, go do this or that. BioCurious is going to do what they want to do. Individuals are going to do what they want to do. So what ultimately brings us all together? And we believe there's a few key things. You need a shared sense of values. You need a shared sense of vision and ethics and norms. And so at each year at Biosummit, we've done exercises to really try to get at those core questions. At Biosummit 2.0 in 2018, we actually did a large distributed values exercise. We actually measured the values of our global community. And so you can see some of the values listed here: pioneers in progress, self-actualization, and so on. And then really critically, what we did is we started to work on shared purpose. We started to ask ourselves, what is our collective goal, to try to make explicit some of these implicit things. And so, so we also did needs, excuse me. And this is JJ here in front of our needs wall. And then again, we really focused on shared purpose. So working with Marshall and organizers like Abel Kano, who's going to be speaking later, we worked on developing a first draft of the shared purpose with our organizers from that year. We brought it to the Biosummit itself and then had our, you all, the participants, work on it together. And then ultimately we unveiled this statement of shared purpose, which I will read to you all right now, which is so near and dear to my heart. Shout outs to Ananda for making this just amazing illustration that I think brings the shared purpose to life. So the shared purpose reads, our shared purpose is to fundamentally transform the life sciences and democratize biotechnology to inspire creativity and improve lives by organizing life science change makers and bio enthusiasts to build an inclusive global, oh, excuse me for 1 second here. I have to move these things. To build an inclusive global network, cultivate an accessible commons of knowledge and resources, launch community labs and projects, and enable local educators. Can you guys give some snaps or some love if you guys like that statement of shared purpose? I personally do. I think it's one of the most powerful things. I remember when we unveiled it at Biosummit 2.0, people really just standed and applauded, and it was a really powerful moment. And also because it was co-created, right? We all made this together. We all contributed our own words and phrases and made this together. And we're going to be doing a collaborative exercise later today to do more. So Biosummit 3.0 last year, this is where we all came together again and added more and more people to our family. We could barely fit into the same room last year for Biosummit 3.0, expanding to so many different regions and countries all around the world with more than 500 accepted participants, our biggest event to date each year, adding about 100 or so folks. And then we, again, had an incredibly participatory event, all of these wonderful breakout sessions, hands-on experiences, and so on. And this is, again, what we'll be doing later on today and throughout this weekend in our own virtual context. And so shout outs here to Arnav, our philosopher. Science is hard, but people are harder. And so last year's focus of Biosummit, the exercise that we did, was actually to look at ethics and norms. How do we treat each other? How do we want to work together when we think about this movement building work? And so last year we worked on developing a set of ethical principles, and this was as an exercise designed by Alex Perlman. So shout outs to Alex, and you can all check out the ethics document at biosummit.org/ethics. And so these are just some photos of us engaged working on the exercise. And, again, another co-design activity, something that we worked on and built together. And we ultimately generated these 11 or 12 principles here. So some of them like respect, credit, autonomy, accountability, diversity and inclusion, and so on. And so this is a living and breathing document. You'll notice same thing with a statement of shared purpose, actually. It's a statement of shared purpose version 3.0. This is version 1.0. In the coming years, we will always continue to come back and revisit these documents as we should, because these are really living and breathing things. And so the other really powerful thing I think that we did last year was we launched the first Community Bio Fellowship. One of the key aspects of thinking about movement building and growing and scaling this community and our work together is leadership. Leadership is so important now more than ever if you look at what's happening in the world. And so this particular program is really one of the proudest things that I personally have been a part of. This is a photograph from last year's Biosummit with our first class of fellows. Shout outs to all the fellows, give some love. I know that we have a bunch of Community Bio fellows in the Zoom room right now. You all are amazing. We're going to talk a lot more about this later on the program today around 11:30 and 11:45. And which brings us to Biosummit 4.0, our event here today. Okay, and so we are now, of course, in unprecedented times. We are not convening in person. We are doing this virtual event. There's so much turmoil in the world, but for myself, I don't know about you all, but just being here with you all already, even in the first like 15 minutes, I feel so much more hope. I feel so much more optimism for the world. This is an energy that we're going to cultivate together over the next 3 days and really just blast it out to the universe because the world needs it. And this is what we can all do together. And this is what movement building is all about. And so this year's event, my gosh, even though it's virtual, we have more than 620 accepted participants from all around the world, 59 countries represented this year. This is our biggest and craziest and most diverse events. So just shout outs to all of you for joining and being a part of all of this craziness. And so I'll talk a little bit now just about our culture. So how do we interact with each other and what are our values and how are we really gonna respect each other over the course of the next 3 days? So the first and most critical value is participation, okay? Biosummit is not about a bunch of smart people talking to you. Biosummit is about you engaging with each other, engaging with your colleagues, making new friends and collaborators, and really working together. This is all about agency and all about you basically doing that work. And so participation is so, so critical. So please stay active in the chat, be in the Slack. When you're engaged in a session, please participate. We want to hear from you. Your voice is important and matters. And really, that's, I think, the core thing about what Biosummit is all about. Some of you may have heard about the idea of a safe space, but this Biosummit is also a brave space. So we really want you to be vulnerable. We want you to actually share. We want you to actually go to some of those places that you might not be, might be a little bit scared to, but we really tried very, very hard to cultivate a very, very safe environment for all of you to express yourselves. We have an application process. All of you had to go through and register and sign our code of conduct and so on. So we've really tried to cultivate a space where all of you can engage with each other in a way where you can truly be brave and share your authentic voice. Be open, be respectful. Biosummit has so many diverse views. We have some people here that believe in entrepreneurship and doing startups. We have some people here that think we should open source everything. We have some people here that just have so many diverse perspectives. So be open-minded as you engage with your colleagues over the course of this weekend, and please be respectful of them as well. We really want to engage, but also keep this in mind. This is another key one: step up, step back, okay? For those of you that are a little bit more timid, that may not be as used to speaking up in groups and so on, this is your opportunity to step up. We would love to hear from you. We would love to hear your contributions in session, on Slack, in the chats, and so on. For those of you that love hearing the sound of your own voice, they're often the one that always has something to say, an additional thing to add. I will admit that I'm often guilty of this myself, okay? Maria Chavez is raising her hand too. Maria, you're really good though. I think you're on balance. But anyways, but this is a step back moment. Step back and let other people be heard, okay? So always be conscientious for yourself of creating that space for others and other voices that may not always be part of the conversation, which again is fundamentally what this whole movement is about: creating space for voices that are not a part of the conversation to be a part of the conversation. Okay, and then staying on time. So far, I think I am actually on time, which is amazing. I've got 10 more minutes to go, which is awesome. I think I'm gonna be there. Shout outs to Mackenzie, our intrepid timekeeper, for helping to keep me on time. Because it's a virtual meeting in general as well, timing is so important. When you all are in your sessions, if you've got a 15-minute talk, if you've got a 3-minute talk, whatever it is, stay on time, okay? We have timekeepers set up in every session, so please work with them closely to stay on time. I already said this before: be patient, be flexible. We built this giant conference out of atoms, so please be atoms and bits, I guess. So please be patient with us. Okay, this one here I love. Gratitude, y'all. Appreciation. On our Slack, we've got a beautiful gratitude channel. Please express appreciation for folks whenever you can. That's a huge part of our culture. So please do that whenever you can. We all need to be expressing that, I think, now more than ever. Okay, a couple other notes here. So you will notice that if you look into the gallery view in Zoom, that there is a variety of folks that have this red background like what I've got here. The folks that have red backgrounds are organizers. Now, not all organizers have red backgrounds, so there are organizers that do not because of, anyways, it's Zoom virtual background stuff. But one of the key things to know is, in addition to us being organizers, you can also reach out to us if you have any issues around code of conduct, okay? So code of conduct is one of the single most important things about Biosummit. We really endeavor and try very deeply and spend a lot of time trying to make sure we have a very safe space for our participants. We have so many people from diverse backgrounds from all around the world. We have youth, we have high school students that are a part of Biosummit. So it's really important that all of us respect each other and engage in with utmost integrity and professionalism and just, being kind, good humans. And so safety is paramount. If at any point during Biosummit you feel unsafe for any reason or witness something,
I can hear you.
Or witness something that feels unsafe, Barry, please mute yourself. Then this is a moment to either send a message to somebody that's in with a red background, an organizer, or send an email to codeofconduct@biosummit.org, okay? So this is how you can contact us. Reach out to us, we will then take it from there. And organizers, if somebody reaches out to you with a problem, again, do not intervene. Send an email to codeofconduct@biosummit.org, and then we will take it from there and handle it. So please, safety is paramount, and be kind and respectful to all. Okay, I've mentioned this before. This is an airplane that we were building as we were going. We are gonna try a bunch of things, which I'm about to walk through in a moment, that we've never tried before. The amount of sessions we have in parallel, the amount of stuff we're trying is crazy this year, okay? So we are literally building the airplane as we're flying it, but everything is awesome. It's going to work out great. If you are patient and flexible with us, we are going to have an amazing time this weekend, and we are going to, do great things. So please be flexible and patient with us as we go on this adventure. Okay, I'm going to stop sharing this screen. And now I'm going to walk us through the website, okay? So give me one moment. Okay, can you all see my screen here? All right. First of all, can we all give some snaps and love to Alex Perlman, who has built this crazy, insane, amazing website that I think is just one of the best conference websites, or just websites period, I've ever seen. It looks incredible. So there are so many features to this website, but a couple of key things that I want to call out for you, okay? If you, the entire program is shown here, okay, in one giant Google Doc with links to Zoom rooms, clickable right here. It will bring you to the appropriate Zoom room. If you go up here and click to the panels and breakouts, you can see another view of the program. And critically, you'll notice that all of our Zoom rooms are named after organelles. Okay, so this is going to be our terminology for the weekend. All right, so right now we're in the nucleus. We're going to say things like, everybody go to the ribosome for this, or governance is happening in the chloroplast, or workshops are in the mitochondria. Okay, if you go to this webpage, you can click right on the organelle and it'll bring you right into the Zoom room that you need to be in. There's another beautiful view right here. This is our schedule today. Right now, we are in the nucleus. This is the morning plenary. We are all in one Zoom room together. Once we get into the afternoon, we're going to start breaking out into multiple rooms. So you can see we've got 6 things happening at the same time, actually, in the afternoon, all of these tracks. And then if you continue to scroll down into the website here, all of the events, the entire BIOS, look at all this stuff here. This is all of the stuff that's happening over the course of these three days, okay? Tons of stuff going on, all with clickable events that you can go into. And there are also, I believe, Zoom links in there that'll take you where you need to go, okay? So we've got a super crazy program. And I also want to lift up a couple of key elements from this website. One of the beautiful things we have here is the Bio Creation Station. Okay, so shout outs to our Bio Art and Design team, to Carolyn, Carolina, Roland, Heidi, just the entire group that's helped to curate this incredible set of virtual gallery space. So you can visit this anytime. This is up 24/7. Roland is also Roland and the team are also going to be doing curated walkthroughs of the Bio Creation Station at various points in the program. So look out for that in the program. So this is really amazing. Another thing I want to shout out is our workshops, okay? These are all participant led. This is all of you, all of the workshops that you're doing. I don't even know how many we have. I think it's like 27 workshops, but look at them. They are glorious. There are so many things. You want to learn about microfluidics, DIY electroporator, science communication, mycelium. All of this crazy stuff is all here built into the program. So there's no sign up. All you have to do when it's the time of the event is go ahead and click into the appropriate Zoom room and it'll bring you there, okay? Another quick thing, we are gonna have a party on Saturday night. It's a Biosummit tradition. We will have a party. There's also gonna be an open mic on Friday and Saturday. So we are gonna keep all of those fun activities going. Okay, I'm gonna stop sharing this screen and I'm gonna go back into my slides. So just give me one moment here. And Mackenzie, I see you. I'm almost done. Okay, so I talked through all of this. And also, shout outs to Justice for leading the charge on our proceedings. I think this is going to be historic. This is the first time Biosummit is creating scientific proceedings for the entire conference. So please submit your abstracts and so on. We'll be in touch with you throughout the event about how to do that. Communication. This is really, really important. Please be on Slack. Slack is our major method and way that we can all interact with each other. You'll notice that we've got a bunch of channels that are built in. There is a hashtag for every single one of our program tracks. We've got 11 program tracks this year, including BioArt and Design, Global Collaborations, Diversity and Inclusion, etc. So it's really, really critical that you engage in the Slack because this is where we are all going to be hanging out. And I'm highlighting the gratitude channel because that's one that I love and I hope you all share gratitudes there. On social media, please follow us, or you can use the hashtag Global Biosummit and Community Bio. Mackenzie, I see you. And And in our breaks, we're also launching something new, something called Mingler. Okay, so this is going to be a system where we can all actually engage in one-on-one conversation. If you go into the virtual conference setting on the website, you'll see a link that says "How to Mingler." That'll take you to Mingler, and we'll do that during the first coffee break, or the first break, which will happen in about half an hour. So this is Mingler. It basically brings you into a room. You can pick a person you want to talk to. You say yes, and then this is me and Shrestha, for example, engaging in a one-on-one conversation. This Mingler room will be set up the entire Biosummit. So anybody can engage. You guys could even go there right now. It's like a lobby. It's a virtual lobby where you can all hang out and talk to each other. Okay. I'll talk a little bit about this more later, but we've talked about ethics. We've talked about shared purpose. We're going to do a governance exercise. That's the big theme of this year's Biosummit. How do we ultimately govern and structure this movement? And so we'll talk a little bit more about that around 11:30 Eastern. I talked about the party. It's going to be super fun. We've got a wonderful lineup. We've got DJ Philip Tan. I'll be doing a short set. And then really the headliner is DJ Norasaurus. DJ Nora is going to be bringing it home for us on Saturday night. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be fun. Bring your best party stuff and shine out at that party. Okay. We are also going to have an open mic on Friday and Saturday. Maria is going to help MC that. So keep an eye out for that. We're also going to have room for people to sign up more. So Nora, if you're here as well, thank you for helping to pull this together. We have a shop, so much stuff. Go check it out on the Biosummit website. So much crazy swag. You guys maybe can't see this. I got my dude Totoro here. Totoro's got his Biosummit mask on. All right, so please check out our shop. Fear of missing out. There's too much stuff, everybody. You are not going to be able to see everything, so please just know that in your hearts, but also know that we're recording all of the sessions. So all of these sessions are going to be available later on and posted on YouTube, so you'll be able to check it on later. And we're actually going to be posting the full plenaries at the end of each day. So if you miss it live, you'll be able to catch it later on in the day. So be at peace, everyone. Be at peace. You will still be able to enjoy what you can. I've already thanked our organizers, but I really want to do a special shout out to our incredible sponsors. Biosummit would not be possible without the support of our sponsors. Millipore Sigma has been just an incredible partner in Biosummit the past number of years, and they are our lead sponsor. So Millipore Sigma, thank you all so much for your partnership. You all have been incredible supporters of this movement and open science. And thank you to the John Henry Foundation and OpenTrons as well for their support. And of course, folks at the Media Lab and my group, the Community Biotechnology Initiative, for providing both virtual space and support for this event. I've already shouted out the organizer team, but I'm going to shout them out more over the course of this weekend. You all are amazing and incredible and cannot be thanked enough for all of your contributions. And also our wonderful team at MIT again. So much love to you all for all of your contributions. So in closing, for this opening, I just want to say to you all, we are going through some really tough times as a global community, as a world community, as a human civilization. This is a really tough moment. But I am already just feeling so uplifted by you all, by the presence of you being here, and by the work that we continue to do in our everyday lives and the work that we're going to do together over the course of the next 3 days. Okay, so everybody, try to take this energy that we are all going to experience and build together, bottle it up, and just allow it to move you, allow it to inspire you, and bring it to wherever you are in the world to basically amplify this movement and bring it to the world, because we really need it. So everybody, let's change the world together. And I'm so excited to be here with you all. So thank you all so much again for coming to Biosummit 4.0. My name is David Kong.